Missy, Dan, how exciting. We're finally here in the Nest 3.0.
4.0.
4.0.
Technically.
4.0.
It's been such a huge journey over 11 years of both of you providing incredible creative spaces to artists and creatives in the city of Sydney. Tell us the story. How did you get to this point?
Yeah, well, we started 11 years ago. Actually,
Longer.
12? Something like
2013.
2013, just around the corner actually, on the back of Botany Road, and that was something that started out as my own practice. I was investing in another space that was next door to us, and then about a year later started that space, and we kind of just needed room to grow ourselves as artists because we were doing big scale public art and design, and you were doing set design. And then we're like, okay, well, how many people will it take to make something that we can kind of like put all of our rents together, because we knew how expensive it was even back then. And then, we started the Nest, and then we just realized that we'd become a kind of collective and a community. And then we were there for 5 years. We thought we'd be there for one. It was a demolition lease.
1 year lease.
We thought that was a long time back then, and now we're like, please give us 5 years. You know, like. And then that was supposed to be demolished. Didn't get demolished. It's still there, but we moved, and it was a better move into the one at Botany Road, which is opposite where the metro is now. And then that's getting demolished and going to be redeveloped. And so now this is our third move in Sydney, and we've got another space in Meanjin, Brisbane. So, and that's cracking along nicely. So it's really good. So yeah, this is the third move. And we've gone from 20 to sort of 80 to 90 people, artist studios, and this one is kind of the same, a little bit less studios-wise, because we have a little bit of...
There's more studios.
Oh,
in
more
this one,
studios here, yeah.
But it's smaller.
Same, smaller footprint now. The biggest part about that journey was realising how big this is and how much of a major... production it was going to be. So yeah, so that's kind of it. We've bounced 3 spaces and grown and developed and sort of iterated every single time as well.
Okay, this is the 4th move. You've stayed in Alexandria. You've managed to provide a lot of creative space over time. What have been the main challenges?
Finding the space is a big challenge. Then setting the space up to satisfy everyone's needs, because they're quite diverse. And then I guess funding to make it all happen. They're probably the 3 big ones, I reckon.
And then also to add to that, it's also like the time we get told when the leases are up is really short compared to the size of what this entity is. So like, you know, a 6-month turnaround for us to, between finding a space, finding that resources, we're just 2 people doing it independently, and then figuring out how we're actually going to drop everything we were doing as well as our other projects, and then moving. There's so much to it because we also have our own projects, and so we sort of have to clear the deck and just completely reevaluate everything really rapidly and mobilise.
Yeah, and
and
it seems to be that you've managed to stay in Alexandria, which is important because it is an employment land. So the planning controls in this area mean that it is for maker space.
Yeah.
What would be more helpful, I guess, to sort of, you know, create a bit more certainty? Because I can imagine that a 1-year lease, a 3, even a 5-year lease.
Yeah. It's nothing.
It's awful moving house. I can only imagine how difficult it.
40.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what do you think would help create a bit more security for yourselves, but also for artists and creators in the city of Sydney?
Like, we'd need a permanent home would be the simple solution, because what we do currently, and it's not sustainable, is to take on a demolition lease. So to have some, you know, guarantee that we don't have to be anywhere else for a long period of time would just be the ultimate, ultimate security.
It also just means that we can establish and like invest in the space more, because we spent so much. It's just a crazy, even just like physically moving the stuff is such a huge expense. It was something like 50, 60 loads of a 5-ton truck.
Wow.
Yeah. Like there's, you know, 15 fridges, 35 couches. It's kind of unfathomable until you start digging through an art space and you find all these things. Like I was saying to Dan, it's like I always have these nightmares of like when it happens, it's like dragging a Viking ship up a piece of sand, and it's just inch by inch, you know? And so to have something that we can like really establish and then invest our time and our love into that is permanent is really gonna, would be something, that would be incredible value to everyone as well.
Yeah.
I think they can start to establish their own practices as well, deeper, and really seed community. The best part about our community is we all love each other, and we've built something really special. So they've all sacrificed so much to be able to move with us on their own back as well. They moved themselves. They knew that just the move of everything around them was big enough for the two of us. So there's that as well. It's just like a really big burden for them to kind of uproot, stop what they're doing, stop their projects, and have to kind of be in that limbo land of moving as well. So stability and would be great.
And so the making, like the City of Sydney recently did a Making Space for Culture survey, which very clearly identified that while rents continue to skyrocket, artist salaries are actually going down a lot. So what are some of the things, do you think, that would make a difference now but in the future to try and make these types of spaces affordable, not just so that artists can work in the city but also potentially live in the city?
Well, the permanent thing comes back to mind straight away. And I guess, dare I say, funding, like appropriate funding, that's really specific to artist needs.
Also, I think I think there's a lot that can be done with like making the vitality in the city and getting artists commissioned to do artworks and things around the city, and really starting to involve them in every nook and cranny so that they can have projects that are bigger than their kind of small production realms as well. So, yeah.
And I guess, like, you guys were, the recipient of a grant at the end of last year in acknowledgement of how difficult it is to run an art space and run it successfully, which you've obviously been doing for many, many years now as a not just as practicing artist but as a real job. What do you hope will happen in the future? I mean, you're in a way you're still in a pretty precarious position given that this is not your space. Like, if you had a top 3 things, like a bit of a wish list, what would be on it?
I guess, and I think anyone that runs a creative space will say the same thing, a permanent space, like a building that we could keep.
Get down and dirty with.
That would be the ultimate.
I think, it's been amazing. We're really incredibly resourceful with being able to, even all the walls and petitions around here are all secondhand, they're all upcycled, everything, all the furniture. Like, there's only a few things that we've bought that are new, even the fridges are secondhand. But like, even in that, it's just mammoth. It's like, I don't want to say figures, but it's huge. It's like, a big chunk of a mortgage for something that we'd like to have, which is a house one day, which we don't have because of the nest. And that's another whole burden, is that we don't have stability. And so I think if we could have some kind of support from national and local tiering down permanently so that we can keep cultivating this space, it would really feed being able to have machinery and tools and bring this place to life. So
So I mean, it was really beautiful late last year that the decision to support your move was supported by council unanimously. I think at the time we were also expecting that there'd be a bit of match funding from the state to make sure that you're really well established. So hopefully, what's the update on that? I
believe it's in the pipeline.
Yeah, cool.
And I'm hopeful that it'll come through pretty soon, but we've just got to follow up, I guess, and make sure that we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
We're hopeful it's going to happen.
It would really be beneficial. It's there's a fair bit that we call it phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and we've kind of should be in phase 3 right now, which is, basically producing the move, like build, relocate, and then kind of beautify.
Yeah.
So that stage of us being able to make, put shipping containers in and make this kind of market areas either side of these beautiful, amazing alleyways that we've got, and really kind of extend out so we can create this aliveness and start bringing in the community into event spaces. That's kind of where we're at, and that's what we need the money for from state as well. So I'm really hoping they come through and help us out.
I mean, like, there's literally, like, we have 60,000 by the end of, in the next few years, there'll be 60,000 people living in Green Square. So what a beautiful place for everyone to kind of come.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
wow.
Exciting.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything. We're just like so.
We are very grateful.
Honestly,
for the
it was
support.
such a relief. Like when that happened as well. Just wanted to speak to that and say, we've been independent and grassroots for 11 years, and just to kind of come out of the woodwork and be really exposed has been a really vulnerable process for us with government, and just to have your support and just allyship has been just incredible. We actually would not have actually been able to done it without you. So it's really amazing.
Aw,
we appreciate
great.
it.